Welcome back to our Wednesday edition of News Geelong here on Channel 31 as we enter the world of Geelong sport and none other than Flying Hawk himself, Nathan Currie.
Cheers, Rollo. And I'm a happy man this week because Hawthorn is back. Tonight we'll start with Cal Lowther, News Geelong's man of the Geelong and District Football League. He caught up with Anarchy coach Daryl Bissett about last Saturday's come-from-behind win against Winchelsea.
Daryl, at the end of the first quarter, your team was behind and not playing very well. Can you tell us what happened to turn it round for you?
Well, it was a bit of a worry, I suppose, because I went and watched Winch the other week against West and they kicked 6 in the first quarter and we knew we had to get off to a fair start and I think our first 10 minutes wasn't too bad, but then look, you're playing Winch here and things like that, we knew they were going to come back at us sort of thing, but we just wanted to be around the mark at quarter time and after that we just said just back yourself, back your instincts and just run off a little bit more because we were just sort of stagnant about it all, so we just changed a couple of positional ones and it turned out all right for us up to half time.
Yeah. Can you tell us about the movement through the midfield and how that really took you into the game after half time?
Yeah, we're rotating probably 7, 8, 9 blokes through there now, where in the past the club's just had Berg, Cookie and a couple other blokes going through this lever, but we've got some young blokes coming through and we're just giving them faith and we put them through. So what we've got is blokes going on ball that are sort of fresh sort of thing, so we just told them to run, come off the ground, we'll put somebody else fresh on. That sort of turned us right around, on ball were good.
What does this win mean for your season?
Look, what it means is we're one game ahead of our goal. We wanted to be 3-3. We're 4-2 now, but we're not getting ahead of ourselves. Look, by all means, smile, have a good night tonight, but we got Bannock in 2 weeks' time, and that's probably the biggest game for the club in the last probably 4, 5, 6 years sort of thing. So we'll keep a little bit, as I say, a little bit of a lid on it, but it means a hell of a lot to our supporters, our sponsors, our spectators and the community that we are on the right track at the club and just keep a bit of faith with.
Thanks for that, Cal Lowther. Moving into the AFL now, and News Geelong caught up with Geelong Cats coach Mark Bomber Thompson to have a chat about their upcoming blockbuster against Collingwood on Friday night football. Now, Bomber, how did the boys pull up on Saturday night?
Nah, look, there were, I read in the papers that the ground was pretty hard, and it was hard, but I think that's can't be used in any way whatsoever. We don't really talk about it, but I think they've pulled up pretty well.
Mick Moldhouse has been talking about hard surfaces on AFL grounds and changing the number of interchange players. What do you think?
Well, I've been plugging on about this for about 6 weeks and it's got no airplay. We've got the softest ground in the competition by far because we have control on how much water goes on and what we do with the ground. So, and our boys, are all play pretty regularly and and play at a high standard. So, I'm all for it. I can just soften the grounds up, it'll slow the game down and I think it'll be less injuries.
Will the two Jameses, Podsy Ardley and Callie, be right to go this week?
Yep, Podsy will play. Callie's just got to tick a few more boxes before we give him the all clear, but very confident he'll be right.
How do you rate Collingwood?
They've got a few new faces in the team and some of their younger players have just come on unbelievably well, so and they're quite fit, so that's where their improvements come from, and they're playing as a team, as a real team. They're looking after one another and they're hunting opposition side, so it's going to be a good game, and they play very, very similar to us.
Speaking of Collingwood, do you think they have a few more options up forward this year?
Well, they've got Dawes and I think Jack Anthony come back in on the weekend, so they've got 3 talls too, and Cloak looks like he's, he kicked a few goals and looked quite dangerous last week, and so maybe they have got a few more options.
They've recruited Darren Jolly since the last time you guys played them. Do you think he'll present problems without Ottens in the side?
Well, it's a challenge. I think, he's a big, strong guy, and Blakey sort of, has really developed. I know people criticise Mark Blake, and some people, don't sort of see him for how we see him, but Mark's a good ruckman too, and it'll be interesting with Hawke getting in there bouncing around, and I think the mix is quite good even without Brad Ottens.
And finally, Bomber, how do you think Mick Moldhouse likes to coach?
I think Mick's always been a defensive coach. I've always been a defensive coach. I think that you get built up, or you have an idea of how you want your teams to play. But I think when we turned the corner and started to really attack, it improved our team enormously. And I think that Collingwood so far this year are moving the ball quick. They're getting forward of play, which you've rarely seen before from Collingwood, and they are looking dangerous.
Thanks for your time, Bomber. And finally tonight, News Geelong had all the action covered in the Geelong Football League clash between St Albans and Newtown and Chilwell last Saturday. And it was Newtown and Chilwell that got the 4 points at St Albans Reserve, as last year's best and fairest Matt McMahon was on fire in a best on ground performance, while Tom O'Dwyer was lively, booting 5 majors. Nick Scott and Jacob Spalding also kicked 3 goals each in the match. After leading by just 2 points at quarter time, the Eagles went up a gear and dominated the second half, ending the day 18-12, 120 to the Super Saints 11-7, 73. After the interleague break, the Eagles will face reigning Premier South Barwon, whilst the Super Saints will take the long road down to Colac, where they'll take on the Tigers. That's it for sport tonight, so it's back to you, Rollo.
Thank you, Nathan. Enjoy your footy training this week. You never know when the Hawks may make that vital call for you to play. Well, the weather in Geelong has been on the cold side this past week, as we say good evening to our sparkling Larni Salathiel.
Thanks, Graham. We've had definitely a few cold starts in the morning here in Geelong. There's a cold front crossed Tasmania and the southern Victoria today, bringing with it some isolated showers as well. And a high pressure system will move eastwards of Tassie tomorrow night and remain almost stationary there through to the weekend, bringing some sunny and stable weather for Victoria. And just looking at the next couple of days forecast for the rest of the week, we've got a partly cloudy day tomorrow with some isolated showers and light winds, a minimum of 8 and a maximum of 17. For Friday, partly cloudy and the chance of showers until afternoon as well, a minimum of 7 and a top of 18. And today we had a partly cloudy day with a few isolated showers around during the afternoon and this evening, with some light winds as well, a minimum of 5 and a maximum of 19. So that's the outlook until Friday, Graham.
Thank you, Larni. Yes, we'll see you on Friday night, and quite noticeable, viewers, still no rock on the third finger of the left hand. Thank you for being with us on News Geelong, where our continued ethos is for Geelong people, by Geelong people, and about Geelong people. Until next Friday night, remember Aaron Wright, take your time and smell the flowers. From the team at News Geelong, a very good night.